All right, so let's check in and I want to kind of find out where everybody's at since we didn't break into last met. And then we can talk about what we're going to be doing for the next semester, which we're on that decline now, y'all. All rolling now from the point forward. So, me, I was in New York City. Well, a whole lot of it's pretty. But
yeah, bars.
you know what I mean? So, but I didn't do New York like I usually do New York. I was tired, you know, and so I just really chilled at the hotel I had down there where we were on some business and we did some things as a family, but I didn't go get in the mix and you guys were getting the zone, but not this go around. I said, oh, I'm getting older or what? But I didn't rock the city. It just, I was a regular New Yorker. I was just chilling. We ate nice restaurants, just kind of cooled out.
What restaurants did you eat at?
I did a sushi spot. Okay. Oh, Bear Burger was a favorite one. I think I had the best hamburger I've ever had in my life.
Bear Burger?
Oh, Bear Burger. Oh my God.
I'm going to New York this summer.
Bear Burger on 3rd and 34th Avenue. Man, that, I was blown away. The burger was a $15 burger, I think.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, okay.
Oh, but it was bison burger.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
With brisket on it. Oh man, and the bun was insane. The fries were stupendous. Yeah, and the onion rings. So you there? You already know, right? We couldn't even finish it, man. It was bananas. So my son ate that twice, but I was down for the 99-cent pizza move. You know, 2 slices, and a pop for $2.75.
Man, that's how we used to do it.
With the white paper plate, trust and believe. You know,
See through
the
by the
pizza
end
also.
See through by the end of the meal.
Yeah, you know. So that was fun. I said, could a New York style pizzeria roll off on Green Street? Or is it for 99 cents? But I think somebody tried it before, and I don't know if they did that.
Antonio's is the closest that we have.
Right.
That's not nearly like.
But they're expensive, right?
It's like $2.40 for a slice of pizza.
See, that's the whole purpose. That's the purpose.
It's like $2.40 for like a slice of cheese.
Right.
If you want like one of those
That's all I
specialties,
need.
it's like
I don't need anything special. I don't need macaroni on my pizza. I
Yeah,
don't need
that's
that.
slice.
Slice of cheese pizza. I'm good.
You good? Yeah, New York style. That's the thing. It's like, okay, for $1 a slice, I can do that. And because they're moving units, they were man, the whole time we were there. It was nonstop, all day and all night. So if you can move it at 99 cents a slice. If you're moving it all day, you getting your money, and you got multiple locations. So I'm watching this guy have record storefront. I bet you there's a restaurant when as big as this room right here, from the door, the wall right here. Let's say this part with the counter. You come in right in the door. The pizza ovens are right here, and behind the pizza ovens is the kitchen. And the kitchen is about right where you guys are at.
Where was this place? Did you know the name?
On 30 it's called 99-cent pizza.
Yeah, is it by Rockefeller or 30 Rock?
They probably have one over there. I was at 34th Avenue and 3rd, so they got multiple locations.
Yeah, when I went there, there was like literally a 200-person line.
For 99-cent pizza?
Yeah, for like lunch.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, but they had this move the shit for the pizza.
Yeah, just man, slingers. I'm like, I said, now that's a pizza hustle right there. For a campus town, if you get in the right location, moving for 99 cents, trust and believe all day. I would only be open. Well, actually, you can afford to be open very leisurely, but I trust and believe after the bars close.
You gotta be open at least till 3.
Oh yeah,
2 to 3, you'll have a line of like 200 people.
just be ready to roll, just be swinging
I think you could do lunch on the quad, honestly.
and kill it.
99-cent pizza, people walking by for $1.
Yeah.
You have like 30 pizzas. You go buy flour for like $4 for a giant bag.
Right.
Water, cheese, sauce.
Right,
You're
right.
good. For under $20, you can probably make 4 or 5 pizzas.
See what I'm saying?
And then
So your profit
sell-
margin's
yeah.
stupid. Right.
Yeah.
There's a guy, he graduated from U of I,
Yeah.
Kappa, had a smoothie truck,
Okay.
and apparently he generated like $1 million in revenue. I'm not sure how much he profited,
All right.
but during the fall
Yeah.
months last year, that's how much
Wow.
he got. And he was his story was published in like Smile Politely and other articles.
Here he's doing here locally.
Yeah, locally.
Wait, here?
What? Here, yeah.
What was
Here
the truck?
and in ISU, I believe. So
What was the
yeah,
truck?
it's smoothie something.
There's a smoothie truck. All the smoothie trucks run around there. There's a snow cone truck.
Yeah, there's like an ice cream truck.
Yeah,
I
there's a
know
couple
one of the
of them.
owners of
This
this.
guy was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. So that was my spring break. But
All right, you want to go or where are we starting?
I'm sorry, I went backpacking in New Mexico.
oh wow, oh, nice.
It's excellent. 4 days away from all technology, just in nature.
Yes.
Pretty cool. I like it. Backpacking.
Yeah. Yeah. I like New Mexico. I was out there for a training a couple of years ago. I went to this Indian burial ground. And I'm telling you, I was in this, I was in some sort of sacred space. And it was amazing. I'm in this space, and then I noticed that it was very still and quiet. And I'm literally, and it was open air because, no roof. I'm unfortunately, I don't know I can't remember what they call it, the space. But, and you walk through these different rooms, and it was absolutely silent. Not a bug, not a bird, not anything moving, no sound. Blew me away. I'm like, we're out in the open skies. In this space right here, absolutely quiet. I said, this is truly spiritual up in here. I said, because you just don't experience something like that where it's a complete, I ain't gonna call it a dead zone. It was a straight up peace zone. There wasn't nothing happening in that space except you getting in tune with yourself and what was going on around you. Very powerful stuff. That chime in like New Mexico, Chile.
Well, I didn't do anything too exciting. Went to Chicago the first weekend. Came back for like a day and then went back to Chicago again. Just for my friend's birthday. Yeah, just chilling.
You're from Chicago originally? Like city of?
I was born in the city, then moved. I was pretty young.
Okay.
You go.
You can go. I'll take it back.
I was here in Japan, doing work on. I got a couple of new design jobs. Right now, I'm doing a full-scale branding package for a company, not a company, for a guy who's running a personal finance blog. So he's down in Chicago, working at some big four accounting firm, and he wants to bring what he knows to people, right? Black guy, right? So it's to help the communities he came from. So did a bunch of market research, putting together this report. I think I'll be hitting like 34 pages. It'll probably be the most extensive thing that I've done in terms of branding. So I'm gonna put it on my portfolio. I've been working on that extensively. I landed a few new gigs in terms of the graphic side. And then I was attempting to code, right? Because I just did a bunch of stuff and I've been stumped over and over and over and over and over. So I mean, yeah, man, it's kicking my butt. It's kicking my butt like I didn't expect it to. That's what's going down. Going down on the computer.
Did you say something about Chance before?
Yeah. So I just met. So he's launching. I was working on that over the break. I'm gonna try to hold up the time, but he's launching a community program called Social Works. It's kind of up, it's not. And so I did the branding for that. I just did the logo, some type treatments, some advertisements, and some copy, some copyright. Right. And so that's going to be the umbrella for all of the big things that he does, like the Warner's Winter Project, the Tip Fest, which is what he brought Kendrick Lamar on that stage back in July, and the open mic, which Kanye West performed at Harold Washington Library. Right. So the Social Works will house all of these things, and so I've completed that project, and now we're working on the other logos for everything else. And so that's actually stuff to do this weekend for that. So, but things are just.
I need Jordan to connect with you. I was just listening to you. Talking about Chance the Rapper on Sway in the morning.
Oh, Dick Gregory.
Yeah.
Was just on the Breakfast Club.
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah, 80-something civil rights activist, ran for president back in the '60s. Powerful interview, an hour and 30 minutes. Check it out.
Was it on the actual?
It was on the
program, or
Breakfast Club.
No, was it like at his place, or did they go to him, or did he go to them?
He went to them.
Oh, because I remember I watched the Faircom one. They went to Faircom.
Oh, yeah.
So I wasn't sure like how.
Dick Gregory came to them and he was tearing them up. You know, dropping knowledge bombs.
Dick Gregory is the truth, man.
But I'm sorry to digress.
Oh, no.
Because I've been working. That was my break. I was working.
Yeah. And you said you ain't got a business. We'll get back to that. Yes.
So I also went to New York, like Doc, over break. I stayed in Brooklyn. I was with my
Did
girlfriend.
you go to juniors?
Yeah.
See,
Please tell me. Oh, I thought you saw me. I was like, man.
Man.
you saw me.
I was on my way to juniors in Brooklyn. I was taking my wife.
Oh no, I went to the juniors in Manhattan.
I was gonna go to the one. Wait a minute, I went to one at the Grand Central Station. They closed it down. I was mad. I'm like, this and that one got some. The cheesecake I bought wasn't bogus. It wasn't juniors.
So it's bogus.
Right, okay.
I mean,
So you went to the one in Times Square?
Yeah, Times Square.
I was gonna come over to that one, but I really wanted to do the one in Brooklyn because that's the one I got indoctrinated on.
Yeah, when I was there, like my girlfriend had never been to New York before. My sister was there, and I visited her last spring. So like I had like a whole bunch of like places to go eat.
Sure.
So like the first day we went to Cat's Deli.
Okay.
Have you been to Cat's?
Wait a minute. Is Cat's Deli the one that
Pastrami. They're known for the pastrami sandwiches.
that's the one that's on that commercial that's on TV, right? Is it the one? Is it Cat's Deli the one that's on the AT&T commercial or the
It might have been on the
It's huge, got huge neon lights.
Yeah, huge neon lights at Cat's Deli. The pastrami is
Somebody gonna tell me that it was in Philly.
New York,
They are in New York City on National Sandwich Day on Snapchat. They take like sandwiches from around the world. They made it like they had 6 or 7 snaps or something in Philly.
Right.
They get pastrami like fresh every day. They like make the sourdough bread there.
They are the truth. I knew I was missing
They
something.
are.
I wanted to go.
When you go back, you go there.
there. I might get on the plane just to go run up there and get some bread. Still from Junior's and a Cat's Deli sandwich. What do you
No,
think?
like that place is like you have it, you're gonna fall asleep afterwards.
Yeah,
Like we had it like midday,
High
like
up,
3
like
o'clock.
that,
Yeah, like
You can be an authentic
like,
Jewish
they
deli,
give,
man.
they
You
give
can't
you
do it.
that, and then they have like if you ask for fries extra, they give you like not just like a little plate, they give you like full log fries.
We went to
So it's,
Ben.
like,
We went to Ben's. No, Dorian went to Ben's Deli. On oh gosh, it was not right outside of Times Square, and she wasn't impressed.
No, the Cat's Deli is
yeah,
world famous.
yeah.
Like Bill Clinton eats there.
Yeah.
Like Barack Obama's been there. Like
yeah.
all the comedians in New York City go there.
I'm there. Next time, I'm upset that I didn't do it when I was there. It's all right.
I also checked this place called it's called Soko. They're known for their fried chicken and red velvet waffles.
Oh snap!
Oh,
that was like-
that sounds
Red
crazy.
velvet
So
waffles.
red velvet waffles. That's what they're known
That's
for.
dessert, man.
And it's like they have like
Yeah,
skillet mac and
that's
cheese
dessert.
also. Like
Killing it.
I had that that was our like breakfast / lunch. Oh my god.
I did go to Chicago Chicken and Waffles when I got back from New York, which was it was good actually in Bronzeville. See, oh wait a minute, I was telling him about the deli, the Cat's Deli. I told you we were gonna go to when we were in New York City. We went to Ben's, and she said she wasn't feeling it. Cats were lit.
Cat's is the place to go.
Yeah, I wish we had known. It was not.
But wait a minute. But where else did you go? So I can clown her real quick. Where'd you go? Where's another place you went to?
Oh, Juniors? There's Soko.
No.
Juniors, yeah.
See,
Juniors, it's also
this one right here. See,
We don't trust him really with any
that's not true.
restaurants, any places.
I'm giving him a list now of like good places to go.
Well, I
to.
was already there. She was cheap front, so don't even answer that right. Cheap front, please believe. She knows we open up in Junior. She know I'm tired. Look, we on the subway. We not too far from Brooklyn. We needed to ride out and go down there. On 40, because the one on Grand Central was on 42nd Street, right?
I
Or
think
not in
so,
Times
yeah.
Square, yeah.
So that one, they had like 2 juniors. They had like one just for cake, and they
Yeah.
had one if you wanted to go like.
Yeah.
So like we went to the one that was just for cake and just picked it up. Just like ate like right outside there.
Sure.
There was also this place called Artichoke Pizza. They're known for like their artichoke pesto pizza, but like
Delicious.
yeah, it's not like huge slices. It's like normal slices.
Artichoke pizza.
Oh, like, so good. Oh my
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
What's the last place that I went to? That's great.
Thank you.
You got terrible aim, man.
Oh, and we also
Still got it.
I went to a show also. I went to go see Latin. They killed it.
Oh, wow. I heard Aladdin was.
The genie was incredible.
Come on, man.
Like
On Broadway?
yeah, on Broadway.
Sounds like I'm on my way back now.
The cast
You don't know.
The cast for Aladdin and Lion King actually like they intercepted each other at the airport.
What?
They had a sing off. It's on YouTube. It's
We
crazy.
did what y'all see Aladdin over there.
$99 ticket.
Oh, really?
$99. They're normally $400 done for $99
Nice. Good deal.
each. Tell me.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, sure.
I'm mad now.
But like mostly I just like walked around with her and like I went to go see like she wanted to go to Harlem, but like we were only there for like 3.5 days, and so we didn't have time to go see everything. But we both wanted to go there just like see like history and like artwork and everything. So we saw a lot of graffiti there too. Which was really cool.
Oh, word. Okay.
I was showing him on my phone like some of the artwork they do with graffiti there.
It's incredible.
It's not just like a wall; it's like the entire side of an apartment building is covered in graffiti. Like I don't know how they
How you do it?
Yeah, like I'm just picturing one dude with a rope holding his other friend.
Really? Yeah, like how y'all do
Stop
that?
swinging.
I want to know the dynamics of how they get it done.
And then also a little bit before, while I was going from break, I had this ship. So basically, my T-shirt business, I'm gonna make it more like small scale for myself rather than taking it to such large scales altogether, and remove labels and just make my own label and screen print it onto the actual like collar,
Oh, word.
so that people can like see their size and see my brand and not like Hanes or Gildan or anything
That's
like
what's up.
that.
Okay.
So
I see that.
You want to do that?
I mean, it's my shirt. I paid for it, so I can tear it up as much as I want.
Real talk, right? Yeah.
I mean, I'm not like if they ask me what it is, I'll tell them it's like I didn't make the shirt. I bought it from them, but I removed labels.
Yeah, I know.
Once you buy the shirt from them, they don't care. I'm not taking credit.
Right. Okay, so listen, we're in I think an exciting place in class. Before you came in, I was talking about kind of we're on the downswing now. Now we're back from spring break, and so there's some things that I want us to do that really one thing that Austin talked about just in here and listening to everyone talk. Like for the most part, all you guys either have businesses, have business ideas, something along those lines. And the unique thing I want to see happen out of this class is that we go through the hacking process of your business from within the context of hip hop as we know it, with the ideas of really appreciating the dynamics and the spirit of the culture and how we've seen it be monetized. What are the emerging opportunities we see in terms of developing new strategies and new ways of doing business in a variety of different ways in terms of us access to new markets, access to utilization of different social media tools, marketing purposes, just a number of different things that I think from a group collective that the class itself has been able to spend a semester kind of really nose to the grindstone, us having great discussion and really being really about discovery and then put some processes in place for the next group. And so for me, it's finding what is the sweet spot of the class for students. And each time I get with you guys, it's always a sweet spot comes out of it. I've talked about on Monday nights, we do the Ghetto Juniors Hack, where we look at what content, so what are the things that we're going to talk about in class on Wednesday. And a lot of it's inspired from previous classes or just experiences therein. This last week, this past Monday, Eric and Ashu introduced us to this concept of the business canvas model. And I said, well, I was so impressed with it, just in terms of really doing a business canvas model for the class. We did the start of one for the class, but I feel that this is something that each one of you should do for your own business or business ideas, because I think it's going to give you an opportunity to really kind of see your business from a flowing perspective and really look at ways of just remembering how to utilize and move it forward in a documented way. And so today, I want, just as a class, we'll do a hack again or a canvas model on the class itself. But while we're doing it on the class, I want you guys to be thinking about it as it relates to your own business idea or business. And I think I'm going to look at the final project. I think not only will we do part of you guys' work will be looking at, as a group, we look at maybe the business canvas model as a collective. That will maybe the final project that we all do. But I also want to see independent ones on each one of your businesses as well. And so I think that will be a great way to kind of surmise the experience of the class, where the class gets a great lead behind, and you guys walk out of here with a great lead behind too. Does that make sense to you? Okay. I did get a chance when I was in New York to get a chance to talk to Anthony Frazier from the Fast Startup, and we spent about an hour on the phone. He's released his book. He's going to be getting me a copy of it relatively soon. But he was real excited, real disappointed that he didn't get a chance to spend time with you guys that first piece that we did. But I told him I think that we figured out our space. But he said that the problem was on his end, not on ours. He said he's had problems before with trying to do Skyping or different things like that, where his connections just get all screwed up. He's going to send. He's self-published, and he's also you're also going to be able to get his book on Amazon and different things like that. But he said for him, he said, he said self-publishing, which I agree with this too. He said just something about having it in your hand, man, it makes it real. He said because then I get to dictate how I move the product, and that's all about the hustle of hip hop. That gives me something where I can do with it what I want, as opposed to being restricted by, whether it's iTunes or Amazon or how it's digitally offered. And so there's a couple of different services he's used to develop his book. And so he's probably doing a blog on all of that, because I wanted that information. And so he's going to share that. And so he said he's going to start working on the second book here relatively soon, so he's that inspired. But he said the main thing, he wants to just get connected with us and stay down with us and the work that we do. So Eric, why don't you, let me give you some water, but why don't you start the process with kind of informing folks what this is, and then we'll start going through this in relation to hip hop entrepreneurship. You good?
Yeah.
Can I bring up the video?
Question.
Oh, yeah, yes, please.
Good.
Yeah.
Let's see. Just wait till Doc gets back in when we're started. Let's get rolling.
An organization's business model can be described with 9 basic building blocks: your customer segments, your value proposition for each segment, the channels to reach customers, customer relationships you establish.
It should be on the left side.
So go back to what we were streaming from. That way it's not just like them watching us watching the video. They see what we're talking about.
What do I do?
Go to the hand. And on the left, it should be a screen share. It's the top, like second to the top.
There you go.
Entire screen?
Yeah.
Now they're gonna see what we're that's weird.
Oh, we got an infinite loop going on.
Yeah, but then just go to the video.
Yeah.
The revenue streams you generate, an organization's business model can be described with 9 basic building blocks: your customer segments, your value proposition for each segment, the channels to reach customers, customer relationships you establish, the revenue streams you generate, the key resources and key activities you require to create value, the key partners, and the cost structure of the business model. But it's not sufficient to just enumerate the 9 building blocks. What you really want to do is to map them out on a pre-structured canvas. This is what we call the business model canvas, a tool that helps you map, discuss, design, and invent new business models. Let's briefly go through the 9 building blocks, starting with the customer segments. These are all the people or organizations for which you're creating value. This includes simple users and paying customers. For each segment, you have a specific value proposition. These are the bundles of products and services that create value for your customers. The channels describe through which touchpoints you're interacting with customers and delivering value. The customer relationships outline the type of relationship you're establishing with your customers. The revenue streams make clear how and through which pricing mechanisms your business model is capturing value. Then you need to describe the infrastructure to create, deliver, and capture value. The key resources show which assets are indispensable in your business model. The key activities show which things you really need to be able to perform well. The key partners show who can help you leverage your business model, since you won't own all key resources yourself, nor will you perform all key activities. Then once you understand your business model's infrastructure, you'll also have an idea of its cost structure. So with the business model canvas, you can map out your entire business model in one image. This works for startup entrepreneurs just as well as for the most senior executives.
All right, so we're going to do the business model canvas requests, correct?
Yes.
How do I turn this off?
Let me give this some context, and then I'll have you pull it right on here.
Sure.
So if you look at the syllabus, this section of we're getting into the first part of what was next week. Your first readings for the Lean Startups are going to be due, and so we'll be blogging on that. This particular conversation is titled "Please Listen to My Demo." And so this goes back to the old EPMD joint when someone's trying to get on in the business, right? And one thing that we know is there are many art from an artist. When we're looking at it from an artist perspective, MCs utilize a number of different ways to get heard, whether it's showcasing themselves at an open mic, whether it's rocking on the block, whether it's being on someone's, I hate the term mixtape because as a DJ, those are not mixtapes. They're
LPs?
No, they're not even LPs. They're when you do they're compilations is what they are of records. A mixtape a mixtape is a very significant thing in the world of DJing and mixing, because the DJ themselves is the artist and they're actually mixing songs, and it's a piece of art itself. And so when it got commercialized, basically, someone in a commercial mainstream music business decided to call mixtapes. I'm still not using it. I'm saying compilation. I think that's it. I'm just trying to remember when I was selling real mixtapes at the Rap House, and I had compilations. Compilations are a variety of different records on a disc, right? But that because of the popularity of a mixtape that DJs put out there, and maybe you may have an MC guest starring on a DJ's mixtape because he's mixing it up. That to me is a mixtape, but then somehow that became the artists themselves have mixtapes. So that's just my spill on that. So a showcasing, if you will. For example, 50 Cent was known before he got hot to rock mixtapes or to be a guest MC on somebody's joint, and ultimately got him heard. That became a good marketing and promotional tool to get things out. And so finding your way and to getting someone to listen to your business idea or to present your product is a very unique process that can come in many different forms. in this particular class, I always like to try to say, if you had, and people like to use the elevator pitch as one. Well, a lot of folks I know don't ride elevators. And I think when we saw, the Straight Outta Compton, Dre and them met up in the club, Easy them, Easy. And those guys were on the block. They were the neighborhood financiers, right? And so I know those stories. These guys rolling slick, ride nice, and they got knots in their pocket like this. And so it becomes, how do you have the conversation to make them peel off something to invest in your dream, to invest in what you would consider a business opportunity. Whereas for them, oftentimes it was just about the hype, and I don't know how many street financiers really appreciated the idea of really running a legitimate music making business within the context of developing artists, putting real money behind them. I think ego trips. To me, it would be no different than having dog fights to them. And one end they're doing dog fights, and then leave the dog fight and go straight to the studio. And so it's just part of the lifestyle of a hustler. But for someone to really have a business, and you actually have to figure out a way as a up and comer how to get your dream financed is going to be very unique. And you have to decide how you want to approach it, depending on who you're going to approach for the resource. All money is not good money, right? And we know that, for example, today, when I hear someone say, man, I'm trying to get this record deal, I immediately start saying this guy is, they done lost their mind. They're immediately talking about being a slave. Under today's ideas of branding and self-marketing, why would you want to sign a deal for a loan where you have to give away your revenue that you make off of your creative properties? Does it make sense to me? The question becomes, how much money do you really want to make, and how patient are you to grow your own money, and then you decide what folks get, as opposed to somebody playing you and taking advantage of your dreams and hopes and aspirations, and your lack of patience really is what gets you. Your lack of patience, your naivety within that realm, and so you're willing to give up. And so, and I'm speaking of that simply from an artist standpoint. I'm not even talking about whether if you're, if you have a tech company, a clothing company, or any other type of small business. If you're talking about inviting someone in order for somebody to come in, folks say you gotta have skin in the game. So how much skin are you willing to give up in order to get on, okay? And that's becomes the real question in terms of what you need and what you're looking for, right? So in this particular context, the business model canvas is a great way to begin looking at really seeing your business and thinking about it in a very broad sense across multiple spectrums in terms of the ebbs and flows of it and how it can look. And so I was really impressed when Eric and Ashu presented this to us on Monday, so much so that, as I shared earlier, that we all have to do this. And I'm just so inspired to utilize this for the class and to really think about hip hop entrepreneurship, as we're calling it right now, as under the business model canvas and what that looks like. Okay. So Eric, I'm gonna let you come on in, and we're kind of tag team like we did on Monday in terms of the contextualizing it as we go along. But let's start off, and Eric can talk about it. What I challenged Eric when we did it on Monday, he talked about it from I should talk about it from the Datafy perspective, and then I chimed in from the hip hop entrepreneurship perspective, so we kind of contextualize it within that ebb and flow. So why don't we start off with talk about the business canvas model within the context of Datafy, and then I'll roll right in within the context of hip hop entrepreneurship.
All right. I'm not sure you have to put it in the context of Datafy.
Okay.
But basically, business model canvas is being used to treat this class like a startup. We said a long time ago this class is like a startup, that we are building this and growing this from nothing. We're trying to figure out a feasible way to get this class to exist. And we're getting some resistance. So we need to come up with a better plan. And this is one tool that's available to us to help do that. So a very good place to start with your business model canvas is with your customers, because you really need to know who your customers are, because like everything else, the value you offer, the partnerships, the revenue, the costs, it's all around your customers. Because if you don't please your customers, you don't have a business.
Absolutely.
So who do you all think are customers in this case? For hip hop, entrepreneurship.
Students.
Okay, so what kind of students?
I mean, ideally all types of students, but I guess maybe more engineering or business.
Okay.
People that enjoy hip hop.
Yeah.
So
Student entrepreneurs, student hip hop appreciators. I won't be exclusive.
Hustlers.
all right. Anything else? Or do you think this is a good start? I think this is a very good start.
Be like just generally pretty creative students. Like
Say hustlers slash creatives.
yeah.
Not decided, I think would be a good one on there too. People that don't know exactly what they want. Because I think because if you don't know what you want, then you're not gonna go into a class specifically, but you're not gonna not go into a class. So I feel like hitting them in terms of like going after them as a target, in terms of seeing if they can get into the class. And then afterwards, seeing how you can win them over in the class. It's just about looking at them first.
Right. So throwing out the line, getting them hooked, and then reeling them in.
So wait, our undecided folks, people who don't necessarily have an idea, but they're willing to join it up with people who do.
Yeah, so
That's one way you can look at it. I think you can look at it as a way that these people want to possibly be entrepreneurs, but they're not really sure, they don't really have their idea. Or you could view it from the perspective, they're interested in this idea of hip hop entrepreneurship, but they're not sure what it can offer them. Like they're kind of on the fence. Is that what you're saying?
Are we sure you
Yeah.
want to include them?
I mean, I just figured, or it's not like they want to be an entrepreneur or anything like that. It's just like they don't know what they're doing yet, and it's sort of just like they're a millennial.
Yeah,
A lot of us don't know what we're doing yet,
Sure.
and we're just sort of like the lost generation taking over the Generation Xers that existed in like the 80s. Like we're taking over that role. Like we don't know what we want to do yet. We want to do something, and so maybe this class will give them the opportunity. To be like, you know what? I've always listened to music. Hip hop's always on the radio. Let's try it out. Hook them in and get into the business portion of it.
So as entrepreneurs, people that either already have a startup or an idea. So you don't have to necessarily have a startup. If you have an idea and you're entrepreneurial minded, we want to get those people in here too. Sure. Get them to start thinking about this.
Absolutely. Are students the only customers?
So I said hustlers.
Okay.
Like that could
Also-
include anybody. Like,
Okay, well then that should go out, it should be its own area.
So will these hustlers be unaffiliated with the university or?
yeah, like anybody that wants to learn about the business, learn about how to get their startup.
So you think that it's nice to have a mix of a.
I mean, if we're talking about just the startup, like in
Yeah.
terms of small scale, like, yes, students, but
Yeah.
if you're trying to do like what we've been doing, we're bringing people in, why limit it?
And do you appreciate that aspect of the course?
I do,
Like that?
because I mean, it gives us a different perspective. Like when we had that couple come in last time, she was a student, he was a worker also, and it's just like, they brought a different view of how to, like, how to see things. And it's like, we see things from sort of a bubble being on the university, but bringing somebody in that's quote unquote from the trenches, like they'll tell us like, this is what we're doing, like what you perceive like on TV, and that's not true.
Okay.
This is what I live, this is what I see, so I will tell you if this works.
Okay,
And
absolutely.
they have a better opportunity of putting what they learn in class to
Okay.
action without, and because if they fail, they fail. With us, we sort of have the safety blanket because we're still in school. But like a real hustler, if they fail, like they have to find a way to snap either back into it or cut it off.
Okay. Okay.
So any other customers we can think of? So the customers are the people that you create value for. So who are we creating value for? We create value for students, these kind of students. We create value for hustlers. And who else do we create value for? Anybody else that we can think of? Or should we
Do we create value for university administration?
I think that would be value.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So they might not be in the classes, though we still create value for them.
I don't know if we create value for the university. I know, like, in the grand scheme of things, like, yeah, we probably do, but considering how hard we've had to fight for it, I don't think they see the value in it.
Right.
So I understand, like, we're supposed to be creating the value, like, with the business model, but I think at the moment, it's not about winning with the administration, it's about winning with the student, and then the value will come to them. They'll realize it themselves. We don't have, like, we already have the value, like, when people see this,
Yeah.
like, these people already see the value in it,
Yes.
when they're gonna see the course.
Okay.
Administration doesn't see value,
Okay.
that's why you have to fight so hard to get the course going.
Absolutely.
So that's my only thing that's different, like, if you guys agree, like, think differently, like, go ahead. That's
So-
just my
So I see what you're saying, and I challenge that by saying that if they are not seeing the value in that, which they're not, so that's definitely true, then is that because there is not value for the university administration, or is it because we're not selling well to our customer? We're not selling to our customer who's the university administration. We're not doing a very good job of that.
And the selling point and sweet spot for them is going to be students and athletes seats.
Right. So it's not that, so maybe these have to be our first customers, or the students and hustlers, but eventually we have to win over the administration.
That's why I didn't want to put that's why I didn't want to put the administration there yet, because this is more of like, because we're trying to get the startup going. And then this is a fluid model, right? Where you
Yes.
can adapt it. And then as time goes on, this entire thing will change. Like we'll
Right.
just incorporate that as the students or people. And then you move it to entrepreneur, or then you move it to administration.
All right, I'm fine with that. I like that way of thinking about it.
Feel
So,
free to chime
yeah,
in.
so this is meant to be iterated upon. So he brings up a very good point that this can be our model for right now.
Sure.
And then as the situation changes, we iterate, we change this, and it adapts and becomes agile.
Right.
So,
Okay. Excellent.
so is everyone fine leaving off administration for now?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what value do we create for students?
Help them get their startup off the ground. Yeah, get started.
So would that-
develop ideas like startup.
Okay. Is that what we're calling consulting? That is the consulting part, is it?
That'd be key activities, right? Because developing the startup is part of the key activity.
Yeah, I guess.
The value
we,
for-
Yeah,
we give
I see what
them,
you're saying.
yeah, no, that's right.
So yeah,
We
There-
give them the tool set or skill set to.
so things aren't necessarily mutually exclusive in this. So like there is some overlap. Like you could say developing the startup is a key activity. You could say it's a value proposition. I do agree it's probably better. So the key activity is develop students or hustlers' ideas. Develop startups / ideas.
Students, they have a way of getting like a cultural class out of the way, like in terms of where they're, because I believe they passed it in the student senate where they have to take a diversity class, and so this can count as a diversity class if we get it to.
So course credit.
Yeah. Graduation requirement.
Yeah. Course credit, then course, okay. Graduation requirement.
Value proposition, what else does it do for students? And this has to be like in the most bare bone way, right? Like,
Right. So it's not.
it's not like an actual activity, it's like what is the core thing that we're
Yes.
focusing
So
on?
it's not the feature. More
That's
than
why, that's why when you say
Yeah.
develop startups, I thought that's an activity. rather than, like,
I agree. Because like, so like key activities, those involve action and like verbs. So develop is a verb. So I think that's why it really goes there. So like, what value comes from this? It's on an abstract level. So maybe entrepreneurial knowledge.
Yeah.
So like,
Are you saying for value proposition?
yeah,
Okay, so we're at course credit, graduation requirement,
Something
yeah.
to do with knowledge.
Yeah.
How do we want to word it?
Hip hop history,
So-
hip hop history. I would say hip hop history. So, why would we say how about knowledge? So the value proposition is knowledge, and then we have subparts in there.
So what kind of knowledge are we talking about?
That's why I want to say subparts. So let's just say knowledge in general. The value proposition, you're going to gain knowledge on hip hop history, the business of. So again, the business of hip hop, right?
Culture.
Yes, and that could be when we say business. I'm wondering when we start thinking about the value proposition is what we consider value proposition. Value proposition is in terms of I don't know if it's happening as a key activity or value proposition is brand enhancement or brand development. Is that a value?
I put that more as activity.
That's all. Okay, that's all I'm wondering.
Would everyone else put it more as activity, brand development?
Brand, I feel like brand development would be an activity rather than.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, it's activity.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Something else or some brand?
Resources.
And value proposition.
If our value proposition is our core competency, is what we're offering, is what we deliver, right?
Yes.
So we offer a space
Yes.
where you develop and then we critique. We term the critique as hack, right?
Yes.
So it is a key activity,
Yeah.
right? But I think it's a part of what we offer.
The brand development?
Yeah, I mean, and I
I
wouldn't
think
I don't
it's
call
yeah.
it brand development. I would scratch that because I don't think it's brand development. I think it's something more. I don't think that's the right language to describe what we do.
I like
here.
that.
I agree.
So what language would you word it
I
as?
don't know.
Brand.
So what I want to.
Well, I think we have to work the ghetto genius paradigm, and so I think that if we're going to say we're doing a key activity, is the ghetto genius hack. You know that I mean we're talking about we're talking that we have a hip hop entrepreneurship class. We got to stay true to the indigenous culture. It's about hood, right, and hood success and genius within that realm. So getting a key activity is the ghetto genius hack. Yes.
Gonna say brand / ghetto genius hack?
Yes, brand development, i.e., the ghetto genius hack. Right. That makes sense to you, Will? Okay.
Resources. We provide a lot of resources for us in terms of like what we do for the class. Like Austin, when he comes on, the
Sure.
values that he brings, the people that he brings to the table. To us.
Mentoring, so corporate,
Yeah, mentoring.
corporate mentoring.
Why limit ourselves to just corporate? So why not just mentoring in general?
Because we want to show the strength in terms of who, when you step into the class, we're going to be aligned. For example, part of the class, part of the conversation I just had a couple days ago is to start is with a guy Bill. Oh, not Bill's last name, but Bill is the last African American race car driver for NASCAR. Last time I raced in 2006. He's interested in starting a STEM project on go-kart racing and motorsports. So him, and Austin had a conversation about Ghetto Genius Motorsports and looking at starting a whole circuit around urban street racing, but with go-karts and teaching STEM within that. So that to me and he is a corporate partner because his interest is first of all to have a national initiative. And so partnerships would be
So corporate mentors?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, corporate partnerships. Would you say corporate? Say corporate, and then key resource then would be mentoring, right? Yeah. So a key resource would be.
Does everyone else? I'm not sure I agree that mentoring would be a key resource.
Okay.
What does it? What do
Putting a
you
value
think?
prop, I'd say like provide entrepreneurial skill set and network.
Well,
Yes.
well, your
Yes.
resources.
I think that
the
resources
business model
need a
canvas,
network.
the resources are the things that you have access to, the things that we offer.
Yeah, so I think a network would go under
Okay.
resources, right?
Right.
You can apply to both.
I mean-
that's what we're giving them. That's what they see.
I mean, yeah, you can put these things in different things, and it doesn't matter too much which one it goes
You guys
into.
see how this
It
level,
doesn't
look
matter.
at how it's laid out. This is killer. You can just see it. You know, it's so vivid and clear in terms of if I'm a student and I say, okay, what is this class about? I get to see everything. Like, oh, there's going to be corporate partners, corporate mentors involved in this. Oh, some of the key activities are going to be develop startups and ideas and brand heterogeneous work. Brand development. We need to put key activities, brand development. Put development in there. They won't know what brand heterogeneous hack is, but we're going to say brand development. We're going to be very specific. Okay. Brand development, you go underneath the IE, the heterogeneous hack.
Inside look at youth.
Yes, yes. So that goes back to value proposition is authentic market development, authentic market research, because
Yeah.
really that's what's going on.
That's what happens when we go to work with.
Get your fab lab. Absolutely. Yep.
So where do we
Mhm.
put that under?
Value proposition.
Yeah. Authentic market research and development. Authentic. Yep. Value proposition is learning authentic market research. Market research development. Authentic market research. Authentic market research. It's not even market research and development. It's authentic value proposition. You learn authentic market research.
And then you can put key activities R&D if you'd like to.
Yes. Yes.
And take that specifically. Because that's one of the things that you told us is like when you work with these, like we get to do what other people don't. It's like we get to hang out with the people that are going to be buying our products.
Period. Yeah. Right.
Like who are going to be using it.
Right.
whatever it is.
But as well as developing it themselves and enhancing your joint, because they're the one. It's always, remember, we always in hip hop. It's always about the next. We always got to be someone who's coming behind us with the heat, right? So that's the only way you stay in the game. Okay. So
Wait, pause.
go ahead.
I'm sorry, no. I mean, somebody has to sell me on including authentic market research and development to the value proposition.
Okay.
Because
Okay. Give me the pushback on what's your pushback.
I don't think there's something that we offer.
Okay. So let me challenge you on this. Have you spent time at the Heterogeneous Fab Lab yet? Okay, then that's why you don't see it yet. Because the ones that have been there, see. The only way you're going to get authentic market research within the context, let's say if you were a kid that wasn't from the hood, right? How would you know about hip hop? It'd be based on what you see from the what you listen to in records. And and for the most part, we're going to know it's going to be commercialized and not really authentic. We know that hip hop, the true spirit of hip hop, is driven by the young people that are in situations that of limited means and resources, but do extraordinary things in spite of the circumstance, i.e., that share and lived experience. Nobody can tell Will about Will except Will, right? So if somebody's going to come talk to me about the hood or try to get down with me, I want you to come into the environment. I want you to come around me, see how I think, hear how I talk, see it within a real context, and then challenge your own inhibitions and ideas based on what's been presented to you from a commercial perspective. So this class provides an opportunity to get an opportunity to work with young people who are, i.e., the ghetto geniuses that created hip hop from the beginning, and continue to shift what it is through their own lived experiences. In order for that to happen, there has to be authentic. How about let's take market research out. I call it authentic field experiences, because I think that is more. It's like when you come in with research, you're coming in with an agenda.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you on that part. But what it does do is provide you with a field experience for you to see.
I'm cool.
Okay.
How about authentic market exposure?
I'm sorry.
Authentic market exposure.
Okay. Yes.
And then we remove the research and development, and we can put the research and development to keep activities. That's something like you're actually doing with the class itself.
Okay, but let's challenge that, because I don't know necessarily if we're doing authentic market research, because really you're not necessarily marketing your product to them per se. What you are though is getting a field experience as relates to how to develop authentic products.
I think that language,
Yeah.
aside from how we find the language is more appropriate too.
So take away research and development.
And
Yeah.
experience.
Are we putting exposure or field exposure?
Field experience and exposure.
I mean, when I visited the Ghetto Jeans Fab, there was this young man.
Okay.
What was his name? Doc?
Which one?
What was his name? Which one? The light skinned cat who was with Alvarez late that evening, right before spring break. 15.
Yeah.
He's really into robotics. Loves music. He was recording himself in the studio.
Is he
By the
really,
way-
is he really short?
Sad. He's 14. By the way, he was telling me how he intends to use the video equipment there in the Ghetto Genius Fab Lab to make very creative vines, because he follows a couple of famous viners, and they use all sorts of, you can tell they're using different sorts of video technology.
So research together at the Yellow Genius Fab Lab.
Oh, yeah. All right, and I want to be, so I didn't make this necessarily clear.
Yeah.
This does not have to be based on what we're currently doing.
Right.
This is based on what we want the class to become.
Right.
So we can add anything to this
Yes.
that we currently are not doing that we think would be useful. So,
Okay.
but yes, Ghetto Genius Fab Lab.
Will that also be a partnership, Boys and Girls Club?
I think that
Or
it could be, but we don't know necessarily if it will be. But what I do know, the idea of the Ghetto Genius Fab Lab is bigger than 4-H and the Boys and Girls Club. The Ghetto Genius Fab Lab will happen anywhere the Ghetto Genius paradigm exists, right? A makerspace will pop, and partner. But from a partnership perspective, yes, it could be Boys and
Why
Girls
not?
Club.
We might
Yes.
We have space.
So
Yes.
my question
School
on this
districts,
whole
but
example-
school districts, just with school districts in general. Yes.
So this whole example that we're using, like this model,
Yeah.
is each section, like, can we change the size of each thing? In
Yeah.
terms, because like,
Yeah.
I feel like revenue and like cost, that's not really like what we're gonna be dealing with, because that's like, it's a class at the university. We don't know like truly revenue that we can bring in.
Well, I'll challenge you on that. Actually, yes, I
So-
can say yes, we can.
We don't necessarily have to look at it through the traditional revenue being like money.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't necessarily have to be money in our case.
Well, I want you guys, here's what I want to challenge your, expand your horizons. So when we think about revenue streams within the context of this course, how I see revenue streams is grant opportunities, new research projects.
I thought we were talking really exclusively through like the traditional business model, of, like making money. And I was like, I don't know if we can make money from this
Yeah,
class as
yeah,
individuals.
Yeah, well, and remember, I think so even from a bit traditional business model, that if we think about within that context, for the things that you want to do to develop the course and make it as rich as possible and enhancing as possible, it takes revenue in order to make that happen. So when we start talking about lectures and things like that, it costs dollars to bring in a Anthony Frazier or a speaker. So we need to have our own speaker series to enhance the knowledge, to enhance the value proposition here. By getting that knowledge of history, business, and culture, and having it contextualized. It takes money to do a lecture series. You got to pay for airline flights. You have to pay for hotels. You have to buy food. You have to pay for services. The stronger budget you have, the greater speakers you can get in terms of being able to offer that. And so I look at that, and when I look at that from a course perspective, I don't look at it from a department perspective, because I know that administrators in department don't. It's just like a record label. They may have one professor or one class that's hotter than the other, and they're going to delve out the resources based on that, whoever has the hottest brand. I have always been about survival of the fittest. I know I have to go out and get my own money to make my own stuff pop, so that's what I'm going to do. So let's say grant opportunities, research development strategies.
So how does that bring in revenue? Research development strategy?
Yeah. So for example, if I am how would I phrase this? Let's say, for instance, if Samsung wanted to develop a new promotional strategy for their new phone that's coming out, they may want to hook up with this particular class to then do a research project focused around universities and students and how they use their social media, or how they can use this tool within the context of communications. and they may want to pay you for that. And so that's where you then can get revenue for your course. It would have to, of course, go through the structure of the university, but those dollars can be specifically assigned for that. Revenue streams could also be alumni relations.
So like donors.
Yes.
So how do we want
Why don't you say revenue streams, donor gifts?
to? Yeah, you want to limit ourselves to alumni for
Yeah.
donor gifts.
Yeah, there's donor gifts. Yeah.
So besides just research and development strategies, what would just corporate sponsorships? Someone saying, "Hey, I think this is a cool idea." I don't-
Investors.
Huh?
Investors.
Mm.
Not just corporate. That'd be bigger.
Investors, yeah. It's investors. Mhm.
So we provide a lot of resources. What other resources? I'll pick some.
Mhm.
So like space.
So that would be that's a resource, yes. So yes,
Space.
yes, yes.
The Ghetto Genius Hack.
Yes.
That'll be another resource that we could do.
That is a
Is that,
resource.
resource- that's
is
not
that
just-
hack more than activity? It's not really.
I think that's definitely a resource because an activity I feel like is something you can do almost any space. But the
Yes.
Ghetto Genius Hack is something we can only do here. Like that's a resource this class provides specifically.
That's true. We on Mondays when we're here, that's what we do.
Because like with those like develop startup and ideas, like you can do that at Granger, you can do that at the UGL, you can do that.
So then
at
that's a revenue potential revenue generator too. Then if we're talking about the Ghetto Genius Hack within the context of consulting services, that could easily turn into revenue. Okay.
It's like the thing that goes into like research and development strategy, right?
I'm sorry.
So that like goes into research and development strategies.
Yes.
Hi, nice to meet you. Melanie.
No, this is Nietzsche. Welcome to Hip Hop Entrepreneurship. Okay, so keep keep going on that part. I'm going to meet with Melanie real quick. You have to take a photo of me. I want you guys to think that we still think about customer relationships and channels and cost structure. Okay, so let's get these areas. Cost structure to me, that's what to me is when you start thinking about some of the activities that we want to do, right? And so when I think about cost structures, one of the key activities we should put up here, a lecture series up there because like when I brought Ralph Chills in from the Chrysler Corporation, there was some costs associated with bringing him here. And I got the university, the various departments to pay for it, partnerships. But that was, we made a video out of that. I gotta get that video posted up on YouTube. But guest speaker series, what about excursions, travel, things like that. So you guys keep thinking about them. And you have to
In person is September.
I feel like
It's only
like
within a couple of months. That's what's going on.
because I feel like although he's mostly in Chicago, this is sort of what has to do with this. I feel like this is something he would like to look into in terms of like coming to at least check it out. Because like you have the kid that says he wants to work on vines or like using the studio. Like this space is basically made for kids that like come from underprivileged area and providing resources for them to excel. And so I feel like if whatever reason you talk to him, we ask like, what's up? It's not like you're in this class like that. Stuff like that'd be real cool. He's like, oh, that's awesome. Like, I'd love to come check it out. Because that'll
That's
bring.
one of the purposes of the social work piece.
I'm not trying to say like do it like right now. I'm just saying like I feel like that'd be really cool.
Yeah. So what's the idea here? How do we work that?
So like, cause he is working with Chance the Rapper, and Chance the Rapper is really big on like youth development in Chicago. And it's not just Chicago that's problem youth development, it's all over the country. And so he's been promoting like boys and girls clubs, different like areas for children to play safe, like be able to develop their own ideas. what was it? He used his own, like, was it the public library that he used to make one of his own mixtapes? Like, he wanted his own space to do it, so now he's providing that for students or for kids in the Chicago area that want to have like a healthy way of doing it rather than just like hustling in the streets and like, doing things. So I told him like, plug this class, like, if you talk to him and talk about how we work with the Boys and Girls Club and how our class is called Hip Hop Entrepreneurship, like, and come talk to us or like come check it out and at least meet the Boys and Girls Club and see what they're doing. Because I think that would be an awesome experience, to say the least, for them, not just for us. It's like for us, it's awesome, it's a chance to rapper, but for them, it's like an artist is recognizing what they're doing. And
Yeah, it's like artist instead of musician.
I remember like the first week of this class, and we talked about bringing people in. I like went through and I was like, holy shit, I know people that know Ludacris. Because like they know like their family. I was like, Ludacris is from Def Jam. If he talks to Def Jam, we can just get Russell Simmons down here and talk to us. I was like, that'd be awesome if we can do that shit.
But they say you're always 6 degrees away.
Yeah, Kevin Bacon. 6 degrees of separation.
So I'm okay.
Are we sticking with house search or are we gonna move and try the customer relationship?
Just start moving into this. So,
What channels can we communicate
So, like,
with our customers?
yeah, channels are like how you communicate with customers and how you do. So channels, this is channel from value to customers. So how do you deliver value to your customers?
In the traditional business, I mean, if we were Dell, we would say like our website, right? Because
Yeah.
Dell was direct to service.
Yeah.
So that would be the channel by which they deliver their product. It's good.
We should have a blog.
Hey,
Blog.
bananas.
What do you say?
Bananas.
Oh, bananas.
How's it going? How's the business going?
We did met with the CFO of what's it called, Trunk Club today, and yeah, like having kids.
Oh,
It was just like a just like office hours.
Trunk Club?
They had basically started this model, and there's a lot of companies doing now where they just send you a bunch of clothes every month. And you just like pick what you want.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of this.
It's like basically like fashion.
Bro, how do you get that from?
It's because they always like the entrepreneurship. I think it's like TEC or something. They always invite people down every now and then for like iVenture. If you guys heard of that, it's just like a little
joint. Or is it Ryan's joint?
Yeah, Ryan's thing.
It's Ryan's.
I don't know who's it is.
I think everyone on campus knows Ryan's thing.
Yeah, but
Everyone in TC.
yeah, they just like he's no longer here, so he was like a business one, so he was coming down to visit. And
Oh, so the CFO of Trump.
It's like they just like come, you can talk to them about your idea.
Isn't Ryan like our age? Like he's like a couple years
Only
older.
a year or two older than us.
Yeah, he just
He's like a recent grad.
right. Yeah.
He was doing a lot of shit when he was still in here.
Yeah.
Like he was really involved when he was a student.
I can always talk to them about this idea that he's had.
Ryan's thing's really valuable. So it's like all he does is help students.
Talk
He's
to
a good
them,
guy.
talk to the Trump Club.
Hands off for a drink.
Okay, so what other channels do we have?
I think honestly the best way to do it, and I think you wrote about it in your blog post, would just be like have an open class like first week on the school of the union, and then people will see that. That's like the most open channel you have.
We'll break that down. I was gonna say,
comes from the
I,
quad.
we want to.
Yeah.
We talk about delivering content, right? I think this Google Blogger model is not okay aesthetically, right? I'm a designer, right?
Yeah,
Because I think
Yeah, it really sucks.
when we deliver content, we want to make sure it's communicated well. You want people to feel as if they're looking at something important, right? Because we're talking about some very substantive things here, but it doesn't seem that way. So I think
It's revamp.
not even revamp, but what are some of the big nicer blogs? Medium is a great resource. It's alternate platforms is what I'm trying to find. Medium,
Like more like WordPress. How do you feel about WordPress?
yeah, somebody make it good. Somebody take time to make it look good. I know that people. So I'm trying to find something that's automated, simple but still clean.
Yeah, Medium I think is by purpose.
But either way, Medium or other alternate platform, because yeah, you gotta look better. You know what I'm saying? Let me see if we have another one.
Promo video.
Can we talk about doing print stuff too? Or ads and stuff? Yeah.
I don't know if the flyer and stuff, because I feel like cost-wise, I feel like it wouldn't really work out to do it.
Honestly, I don't even think it would be
It's not
that
effective.
effective. Yeah, like
No, it's not.
I've never signed up for a class
You have
off of a print ad.
You have to.
Nobody's ever. I
That sounds like a promo
I
ad,
did
like
one. I had one class this semester for flyer.
like a full promo ad, like of him like teaching, sort of like
yeah,
actually
I think
what's
that's a
going
good
on.
idea.
And then like Dr. P can even mix up the music for us. if he
Oh,
wants to. And like music provided by the teacher himself.
yeah.
And then like this is live what we're doing. It's like us hacking stuff, like the stuff we're doing in class, like the videos that we have, the guests that we see, have like an actual promo of what's going on. Sort of like use like a club promotion on my house, just like music, people dancing, things like that, like stuff like flashing on the screen. Remove the flashing on the screen, have like us in class like doing something cool, and then have Dr. P mix music for it. Take him back to the roots. And honestly, we have to do stuff in creative ways. Like this class I'm taking for creativity sparks is like we're learning about juxtaposition. So it's like combining two ideas and like coming out like 15 different ways of doing it. So it's like, yeah, we have like the open ways, like the blog, like the class and blog form video, but like what can you actually dig from the bare bones and throw together to create something new?
You're in the creativity AP course?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. Hey, your first class ever. I'm actually teaching the full course. It's like the full 16-week course. One of the TAs.
333.
Yeah, 333.
Is Eileen still?
Eileen?
Yeah.
Kaylin?
Caitlin.
She's
No.
like blonde and skinny.
The TEC course, right?
Yeah.
Damn, she probably graduated. I took this in the spring 2014.
Okay. No, Eileen's now
2015. 2014. She used to run one of the what do they call it? Basically, they would look at ideas from across CU and they sit down, you present your idea, and people would offer you ways to improve your business or your idea. And she was a grad student here, and she worked with 333, but it wasn't an 8-week course; it was a 16-week course.
the AP thing's brand new. This
Okay.
is the first time it's being offered.
This old gray-haired lady who was a journalist, then became an engineer, here still, and she taught one of the 333 courses. You know, I already got it. Yep.
I'm trying to teach it now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which one teaches that? Yeah.
You're gonna like this one, the last one, channels.
Yes.
Because we were thinking like, so with like club promoting and stuff like that, they have videos of like what the club looks like slow motion music videos.
Oh, yeah.
And we're thinking, since you were a DJ or still are,
Yes.
you mix up something nice for it. And
Yes.
it's like completely made by the class, and it's us like like clips of people hacking, clips of people in the Ghetto Genius Fab Lab,
Yep. Okay.
clips of you mixing actual music, like showing like what the bare essence of the class is.
Mhm. Absolutely.
No words to it though. Just
Just-
no words.
Yeah,
Just
so I
like
take
I'm sorry, that's not-
so take you through the rest of what we did while you're doing that.
Yes.
So we think that the hip hop blog is a great channel, and we think that it needs to be a little more visually appealing than the blogger that we currently have.
Okay.
And we all agreed that Medium is a very good blog that's like attractive. Like we'll get students to be like, oh wow, this is impressive.
Mhm. And I actually do some writing on Medium already. So that'd be good.
Cool.
Cool.
Okay. And then we had the open class concert on the quad,
Okay.
some way to get people in, and then the promo video showing all the cool shit we do,
Sure.
the DJing.
Well, I wonder if partnership should we put the Accord down because they want to work with us big time. And one of the projects that I'd like to see come out of this class, I don't know if it comes out of this class or one that will be a spin-off from it, would be one of the key activities, the Ghetto Genius Refab Lab, but also Ghetto Genius Tech Fest. That's forthcoming, but let's put that on there. Yeah, and that's going to be our approach to doing a sort of a hacking festival that is artist, business, artist entrepreneur related. It's in the context of tech and Yeah. Yeah.
So for channels are that social media and then possibly emails. I don't know if you want to.
I never pay attention to any
Yeah,
email
I know a lot of
sent to
people.
me. Put down anyways. I don't think that's gonna be the most effective way to reach people.
I agree.
Stuff on social media.
When you think, and so let me give you guys just a thought on what I've had about the Ghetto Genius Tech Fest. So when I think about the Ghetto Genius Tech Fest, I think about it within the context of this whole idea of, you know, I have a couple different projects. Well, I can't remember if you got in and did an iPower hoodie that really focused on this whole idea of iPower. And I haven't talked about iPower because there's a whole another amalgamation of this piece. But the whole idea around the iPowered brand was to look at all of us have something together to those students. We get a particular education that's going to make us powered by the eye within the context, right? But I frame that within the context of hip hop when I think about what's good in the hood, you know, doing good. And so I rock a hoodie with insignia, with hip hop icons on the back, and the whole thing of what's good in the hood. That could mean donning the hood, right? Wearing hoodies. But then I'm also thinking about Ghetto Genius Tech Fest being what's coming good out of the hood, right? And what are people doing? You know, typically when we go to a rap showcase, you check out MCs, DJs, whatever. But what about the true brain power, brain trust that's happening there? And I always have to go back to Flint, Michigan, or Newark, New Jersey, or people talking about what's happening in Detroit with some of the social issues that are happening there. People in ghetto situations survive. I mean, you're not supposed to really survive the ghetto. It's not set up for that. It's a space that can be very dangerous and desolate. And when I say not survive, it ain't even talking about in terms of physical demise. I'm talking about spiritual, mental demise, right? But people find great ingenuity anyway, and they do things and create things in spite of, right? And so I want to know, I'm very excited to see who gets in the room to not only kick it off, we're going to do what we do, but the mic is going to stay hot and inspire you in so many different ways. And so I want to see folks show up that have created spectrometers that study mold and can detect things, and they can make it themselves, and they can be in their environments and be empowered with information to change their life situations and not waiting for somebody to come save them, right? And their ingenuity coming out of a showcase at a Ghetto Genius type Tech Fest. And we see that happening, but not only are we showcasing it, let's figure out how to monetize it for these folks. Because you should be eating off your art, you should be eating off your experiences. People should not be profiting off your pain, right? If anybody's gonna profit off your pain, you need to be profiting off it so you can stop hurting in that particular context, okay? So this is about setting up a space where people can come together, and that don't mean that you have to be from the ghetto, right? But the inspiration needs to come and be showcased in a place like that, right? Where there's great ingenuity, where there's cross-blended of ideas, of spirit, of a number of different things that will get people excited and motivated and energized to do some good in the hood, right? To change desolate situations, because again, we talk about this whole idea of hip hop. It's great that we rock the mic, it's great that the DJing happens, but we still have to appreciate why these things occur, and we also still have to appreciate in a capitalist country, those that make the art aren't necessarily the ones that are benefiting from it. Matter of fact, usually they're the ones that are still getting exploited by their own art, in their own situation. Still, the exploitation still continues, and enough of the exploitation, right? People need to eat and survive and have better schools and things like that. All the things that we know and see need to happen, that needs to be real. And we need to be about the business being authentic. So when we say authentic, we need to be about that in every sense of the word, right? And we challenge those who are not within that context, right?
So let's put that down for the relationships. So authenticity.
Yes. Yes. And I hear the key activity, and this is what I have to give our shoe the spirit of this. He said, look, when you guys hacking, when you said with Datafy, we did the hack on Datafy a couple weeks ago. I want you guys to beat me down. So we need to do the cultural business beatdown. And we really need to challenge people on that. And you need a beat down.
Keep them in check.
Yeah, yeah. Microphone can be the check. Yep. Protect your neck section or something, whatever it is, culture engineering beat down. Real talk. Yep, real culture engineering beat down, right? People are like, what's that? Yeah. But when folks are coming in here with these ideas, I mean, like when we really helped one of our organizations on campus take a look at this situation when we first came, and they were saying one thing, but their model was showing something different. They got a cultural engineering beat down up in here, right? And I think that they left here with more knowledge. So those that aren't afraid to be challenged on the spirit of their idea or even their business model, this is going to be great because they're going to be able to withstand the pushback. Okay, they're going to have an answer and they're going to be that much stronger, that much more focused and laser focused in terms of what they are attempting to do and are they clear and congruent and consistent with their idea and then the implementation of it, right?
What about reverse engineering? Is key activity.
Yeah, I agree. Reverse engineering, yeah.
I'll put that down like a little subsection. So I also wrote down University of Illinois, TEC. I think
Yes.
that's kind of obvious.
Yeah.
And then Irving Young Academy.
Yeah.
Is that's how you what's called?
I mean,
I mean,
yeah, partnership, yeah.
so we really need to reach out to them. Like, they're
You
gonna be excited about this. They're gonna be like, oh wow, you're doing this? Like,
well, and we've reached out to them once already. I haven't until tech decide what they're going to do. I'm not going to reach out to them again.
oh yeah,
But
but in the future.
like,
Like, we're not at that point right now.
Yeah.
We definitely need to get to that point.
All right, them and then others. Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely right.
That's a starting point.
That's
Because
a good
they
start.
definitely would see our mission if we show them something of substance.
I agree. Yeah, one thing I think that we have that they don't have is those authentic. And I don't know this per se, but it just makes me really question how they change access to opportunity, right? For someone like a young Dr. Dre, who was inspired to do engineering, he probably had an engineering mind in grade school, but didn't have access to opportunity to get it fully developed, right? So that he figured it out on his own. But we know that that whether it's the University of Illinois or University of Southern California, the spaces is very exclusive, right? And there's a lot that comes along with being able to get access to opportunity. Yes.
In terms of channels,
Yes.
I want to put word of mouth up there
Most
because,
definitely.
like, in terms of like this class, like it's gonna appeal more to like the Black community because that's more hip hop is most prevalent.
Sure.
And so I think word of mouth from fraternities, sororities,
Yeah.
organizations like ACA, Agricultural Association,
Yeah.
or just really any people of color, like the Arab Student Association. I know a lot of them love hip hop. Like,
Sure. Yeah.
Pew Research Center in 2010 did a study on how many women's seek out financial services, and they used some sort of statistical model that is equivalent to the way they prefer to seek out information. Number one being seeking friend advice.
Yeah.
Two being seeking expert advice via relatives, and then three being experts, right? Reaching out directly to experts. Word of mouth is important.
Right.
It's about relationships.
And that's the authenticity.
And so
Yeah.
that's important.
It goes back to it ain't no fun, but boys can't have none. Wow. Yes, go ahead.
And like the thing was like with fraternities and sororities, like a lot of people listen to them for almost everything because they quote unquote have to, like my man earlier has the juice, he's an alpha. So like
Yeah.
people listen to him. Like if he says take this class, I think they'll really like it. People are gonna listen compared to like if I go up to him saying you should take this class.
Well, are they a channel or are they partners?
Combination.
Because
Sororities have a lot of work in the community.
Yeah.
And like that's what they promote is the fact that they're supposed to help develop youth as well as develop themselves,
Right.
with sisterhood and everything.
Absolutely.
I think that fraternities and sororities on the campus are definitely going to be a very ally for us in terms of partnerships.
Yep. I agree.
Especially with a cool idea like this.
Yeah, exactly.
So seems like we're pretty well here, except for our relationships.
I'll look
So-
at that, yeah.
So when you think of customer relationships, think of adjectives.
Yeah.
So we want authentic relationships.
Yeah.
What other relationships do we want? Like
Long
adjective,
term.
huh?
Long term,
Okay.
because this class isn't like for one day.
Right.
It's about building an entire network. Because we're just like with the starters of this, you're gonna call upon us hopefully
Mhm.
next year to bring our own
Mhm.
experiences. 10 years down the line, we still communicate. Somebody has a large business, or like let's say your clips take off and you sell them. You're living large in LA. Doc's gonna call you up, say, hey, do you want to talk with these kids? And you say, yeah. The network expands. Like, can you imagine if we had this going on with Wingate? When that dude that
Yeah,
Wingate was
come
in
on, man.
college, was in school, he would invest in this so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
So I'm gonna put down networks under key resources.
yeah.
Alright, so what other, like one more, so we want authentic, long-term, and what relationships?
Accountable. Just like having, like, sort of like you said, like having just people check in constantly, make sure that they're a part of the class.
So like involved, or,
I would say easy. Like, I would use the term easy because it's like you don't want to force that relationship.
Okay.
Because if you force a relationship with a customer, like it seems like, hey, what are you doing? Like, you should come to class. Why are you not doing this? Why are you doing this? But if it's an easy relationship, like what we have with this class, we sort of just like, we show up, we're happy to be here. Like,
Yes.
you're not forcing us to be here with like, oh, this attendance grades.
so relax.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
meant
like-
it more like how Austin was talking about it, sort of like, hey, we should be checking in with each other, you know, every week or so.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like have like a session,
Yeah.
like, oh, this is what we did, this is what we did,
Mhm.
and kind of update every
So maybe
single
like long-term,
Mm-hmm.
You can make it a separate one.
long-term / committed.
I feel like that should be separate. Committed should be separate and long term.
Two T's.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about like relaxed? So not, maybe not relaxed, but I like what.
Informal.
Informal, yeah.
I think it's a better word than informal because it sounds like when you get the word informal, like it's not like one of those positive words, like a power word you want to hear.
Gotcha.
I see what you're saying. But it's not something that the university would want to see.
Personal relationships, community valued, authentic.
Familial. Fitting the like.
Mm.
Because honestly, we are like a family.
So
close. Right.
Because like we can't come in here as like unknown strangers talking all this mess to each other about our businesses if we're not a family.
That's true. That's true.
Like if you can't give a verbal view down to somebody in
Mhm.
their startup if it's not family. Because like you have to be able to speak to them with that true open mind.
Family like.
Because that also
Okay,
like
that's called a family style.
yeah.
Family style. I like
Because that also gives like
Yeah.
that sense of it's very welcoming and we're open to a lot of different things, but we're also willing to put you in check at the same time. Just like every family.
Alright, any last additions, last comments, concerns? That's pretty good to me.
That's great.
Is there any more we can add about value proposition?
I feel like we're missing something from the value proposition. So without going into how we're doing it,
Mhm.
why do students, so it's not the how, it's why do students take this class? Students take this class for course graduation. Students take it for knowledge.
Mhm.
Students take it for authentic experience.
Mhm.
Why else do students take it? It's cool.
Yeah, right. True fact.
Hold on.
Yeah. And the cool factor sells. Yeah. Jimmy Iovine said that Apple's Steve Jobs got it. A new book is out that we need to read also is L.A. Reid's.
Yeah, everybody's talking about this.
What book is it?
L.A. Reid. There's a mastermind of music business in general. I saw his book at what you call. I was going to buy it the other day. I think I'm going to buy it off Amazon. I just ordered a few books. I got a few books I need to order, and his needs to be going on. But he is part of the hit making duo LaFace Records. I think L.A. Reid is from. I know Babyface is from Indianapolis. I think L.A. Reid might
It's
be
from Cincy.
I'm sorry.
It's from Cincy.
All right, from Tennessee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it Sing to Me? Is it Sing to Me?
One of the songs?
It's one of his books, Sing to Me, My Story of Making Music, Finding Magic, and Searching for Who's Next.
That's it. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, he's that guy. So, all right.
So how are we wrapping up?
Yeah, I think that's it for tonight. Yes.
Okay, so this was great to hack the course as we hack, we intend to hack our own individual.
So yes, and so what I want to do is, starting next week, who's up for the hack? Who's first?
Can it be just like an idea that we have, or does it have to be a set business?
Be an idea that you have.
I mean, I'm down for it, yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna do one per week.
All right, I mean, you can start with this because this is actually taking off.
Okay. All right.
What I was gonna say, right, I think this is cool, right, because this is the standard business model Canvas, and then of course, Behringer, Islander, they have like their own. It's a little bit different, but it's similar. This is a hip hop entrepreneurship course. Hip hop being one of the operative word there, we need to add the hip hop section to this as we hack whomever's business next week, right? This is cool, but this is the standard for everything, right? So this is not our standard.
Gotcha.
Right? So we gotta add a section, I think that's important. And I don't know what we'll label that as, but like how we I don't know what we call it. Maybe we could say it's the Ghetto Genius Hack section.
Yeah.
Right? Because we hack the class, which is why it's like inherently part of the model. Hip hop's inherently part, culture's inherently part of this. But our businesses are not inherently a part of hip hop culture. So it's important to include this. So once we get this out, then we can flesh and add the hip hop portion to what everything else is.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Definitely for the Lens class, we need that.
Yes.
So what do you mean by do you?
The hip hop lens, like that's us, like that's who.
Okay, maybe you right call it the hip hop lens there or something like
That's
that.
all. That was just working title.
Yep. That's how you do it, right? You don't see it. And it might even be within the context of the Ghetto Genius paradigm.
It is.
That's really looking at this whole thing. I mean, that's the Ghetto Genius paradigm is how all of this stuff emerges, right, within the context of hip hop. And so maybe it's looking, is framing this within the context of the Ghetto Genius paradigm. And because I'm going to utilize the Ghetto Genius paradigm, also I got to have a team. Matter of fact, I have a conference call here in about 2 minutes with a superintendent about teacher training that I'm doing next Tuesday around decoding Dr. Dre, i.e. the Ghetto Genius paradigm. And what I'm going to do is they're going to have to do a business canvas model, but I'm going to do a canvas model within the context of the Ghetto Genius paradigm to really begin looking at educating ghetto geniuses that are the hip hop generation that go into school, right? And how do they look at them within that particular context, but then also how do they educate them? They have 18 teachers that sign up for this thing already. It's awesome. That's pretty awesome. Yeah. So customer segment, customer relationships, it's going to do all this stuff. Yeah. So excellent. All right, folks. Be on the lookout. You will be blogging this week. I'll be getting one up. Make sure that you.
Thursday, right? Is it Thursday? You're gonna have the question up or Friday?
I have a question on Friday. Yeah, you guys will have it back in by Sunday. Cool. Cool. Excellent. Good class, y'all. For y'all to be fresh off spring break, that's pretty good. Mhm. Oh, wait, y'all still haven't told me if y'all been to Chicago Chicken and Waffles on 35th and King Drive.
I haven't, but I need to.
Yeah,
No, sounds good.
it's off the chain of restaurants. You been to it, Will?
Yeah, one of my profiles, they sponsor the place.
Oh, straight up?
So you go inside, you'll see like, they had a big poster.
Oh, where? I ran across it just the other day when I was leaving my daughter's house. I was like, I'm going back. So when we got back from New York, I had to stop at the Chicago Chicken and Waffles on 35th and King.
You heard of this place called Velvet Taco?
Oh man, where's that?
It's in downtown Chicago.